Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia Ponti, and I am joined by the lovely Mark Rosenfeld, and thank you so much for being on this channel.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Nice. And we are going to talk about something really important, and you guys asked me about so much, and who else better to bring on my channel than another dating and a relationship coach for women. And what we are going to talk about is what women want, and this is a really big topic. So are you ready to give them the inside details?
I'm really excited, yeah. I spend all my time coaching women, so it's cool to I used to coach a lot of men, so it's cool to get back to that for a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. So I want to kind of pick your brain because you are always coaching women. And what do you feel or what do you hear is like the number one complaint that women come to you about men?
There's a few different things that women come to me with. One of the big ones, surprisingly, is inconsistency. And this can cover a whole range of things. I get a lot of women who come to me about mixed signals, about lack of understanding. I get a lot of women who come to me trying to figure out a puzzle of whether a guy likes them or not, or how they can be more solid, how she can figure out if the dude is solid. I get a lot of women who just, they really want to know, like, does this particular guy like me? Does this particular guy want to be with me? What do these signals mean? And I'm confused, and so they're feeling this inconsistency in some way from him, and they want to get an answer.
Right. Yeah, and inconsistency, and I talk about this a lot, is like an inconsistency also in a man's, way of courting, or when you're in a relationship with a woman, or when you're dating, can sometimes mean different things. But in the process of dating, I always say how a man can really show up for a woman is when he takes the lead. Because it comes down to natural history. I mean, if we look back into like the ancient times, like men are meant to lead, men are meant to court. It doesn't mean that the woman's shouldn't initiate or shouldn't reciprocate, but also too, the way that you stop getting those mixed feelings or things like that is when a man can step in his power and actually lead and be pretty assertive, right? There's a difference between, I always say, assertive and being aggressive.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And that is where, a lot of times when I talk to women myself, they're friends, girlfriends, they're like, I'm not too sure, he's inconsistent. He told me he wanted to go out with me on Friday, but didn't stick to his word. And now that I'm in this industry for a while, you know why a lot of men sometimes do that? Is because they don't want to feel like they're coming off too strong or needy.
Yeah, 100%. And it's what the woman really wants is she wants to feel that centeredness in the guy. Not to get too spiritual woo-woo, but when, women follow their feelings. They're a lot more connected to their bodies and things than we are. So they are looking for some centeredness, and whether it's a centeredness in how the guy feels, or whether it's just the calm presence that she feels within herself when she's around you. A big thing that a lot of guys do wrong is they focus their dates too much on her, and instead just go, well, how can I enjoy myself and bring her along for the ride? Not just in my date, but in my life. And then she can feel that centeredness and be drawn to it. Whereas that, if she feels that inconsistency in some way, now for some women, there's some of us, and guys are guilty of this as well, where we've trained ourselves to like chase the unavailable. And there's some people who are avoidant, who want that false inconsistency. And then you get into weird games, like you're playing hard to get with a girl and she leans in, and you don't need any of that shit. If you're consistent with where you're at, and then also consistent with doing your own thing, you'll create this natural consistency within yourself, which whether she's in or she's out, you'll just be on your thing, and she will feel that consistency, and the right women will love it.
Yeah, I agree. And that leads me into my next question. Do you feel that a woman really gets connected to a man if he's able to build that emotional connection with her?
Yeah, 100%. And she wants to feel like the same things that all of us do. Like, she wants to feel connected as well. And yeah, you were saying before we started the video, obviously men start more visual, but that connection's huge. And it's really just the experiences that he's bringing to her life and vice versa. Like, both people are saying, am I enjoying the emotional experience? Is this positive? Do I want to do it again? And then you kind of go to that deeper level of bonding where you're vulnerable with each other and you connect a bit more, so you're a bit more entwined. And then it's like back to the fun stuff, and then back to the deeper bonding. And it's just that cycle between the two that leads over the long term. The more you do it, the more connected you become.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that too is like, as me as a woman, like if I am wanting to possibly be in a relationship with a guy, one of my decisions is how does he make me feel comfortable? Like, am I comfortable?
Safety is
security.
huge.
Safety is the number one thing, and you hear that a lot with women, right?
That's the number one thing. The first thing you do when she talks, as soon as you open your mouth to a woman, first thing before she's even thought, her instinct is, am I safe? The next thing is, am I safe if I hang out with him? Am I safe if he takes me home? Am I safe if I get into his bed and I decide I don't want to sleep with him? And then it's constant things like, there's an element of resources in that too. If I stay with this guy, am I going to be safe with him? Like, can he provide safety?
Exactly.
And so much of that comes from you being on your purpose, because then she feels safe and solid with you. Like, you're doing your thing, she's with you, great, he's doing his thing. She's away from you, oh, he's still doing his thing. You feel very safe, and it creates this natural space that she can come forwards and then release from, that's going to make her want to chase and keep coming back.
Mm-hmm. I love that you said that, because you validated everything that I talk about when it comes to just natural, authentic attraction.
It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times too is like what men struggle with, and I see a lot, and that's why I love what I do, is they struggle with understanding the difference between making a woman feel comfortable and then overly trying to respect her, when then he falls into the friend zone, or he was looked at as becoming needy, and things like that happen because they're trying to overcompensate, because sometimes either one, they're not educated enough, and that's why I provide this channel, or two, they just not that experienced. Because a lot of times I have clients that come to me and they're very respectable men.
Yeah.
Their parents have raised them to be respectful to women. But what they're doing is they're putting extra focus on respecting a woman when that comes off naturally to them.
Yeah, there's this kind of weird concept that to respect a woman, I shouldn't be too sexual. And I understand where that's come from. Like, there's a lot of kind of negative media and things around that. But the reality is, if you respect her, you also have to respect her sexual desires and the polarity that she wants you to create there. So it's a mark of respect to lean in and kiss her. It's a mark of respect to throw her against the wall if she wants that, and if you can tell she wants that. And again, it is tricky, because if you've never done this before, if you don't know, sometimes you have to go a bit too early, sometimes you go a bit too late, but you've just got to calibrate that in and learn to respect her where she's at. And this is why when you slowly escalate, you're like, okay, well, she's leaning against me, so she's probably fine for me to try to kiss her. You try to kiss her, it works, great. Give that a bit of time, see if the next thing. If not, if she dials back, cool, you go back to doing on your thing, you go back to having fun, back to making her feel safe again. So you've just got to take each thing as it comes, and each time, once you know the signals, you get the signal, you go forward. If you're not sure, go forward anyway. Respect her response, see what her response is, and it'll be really obvious.
Yes. And here's the biggest thing too, is I always say this too, is pacing yourself when you are trying to escalate in this sexual way, because men sometimes do get frightened, like they're doing the wrong things, and it kind of can get in their way in their mind, and then they can't perform. There's a lot that goes on here. But one of the things that I'm going to give you, actually this is the first time I'm actually saying it in a video, a key piece of advice when this happens is, when you are either about to get physical and sexually intimate with a woman, or things start to look like it's going to happen, one big tip that you can do to a woman before this actually happens is say, if you feel uncomfortable at any time, or you want me to stop, I just want you to just really embrace my hand, or tell me stop, or tell me no, or slap my hand, or do something, and give her that one thing that you would want her to do in order for her to feel comfortable. Because what that says in our minds is, wow, he really wants me to be...
He's thinking about where I'm at.
Exactly. Yeah. He's putting my needs before his.
Yeah.
And that is the sign of safety in a relationship, in a partnership, and that's how we kind of emotionally make our decision.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is where it's important to be disconnected to the outcome and just enjoy her in the moment. Because cool, I'm going to lean in and kiss her, I'm going to escalate to the next move, and then she pushes you off, you're like, cool, all right, I'm sweet. Like, you're not in there for the outcome, and she's like, oh, he's fine, now I want to jump him. There's this, with that thing usually happens, but even if it doesn't, it'll probably happen the next time, as long as she feels safe. But if she gets a weird reaction when you go in, that's not as certain. And again, it's losing that centeredness that she's trying to feel from you.
Exactly. Like I say, don't ever get hooked on an expectation of a woman. Yeah. Just be in the present moment, because you are also in the stage of finding out who she is, and the same should be vice versa. I have another question for you.
Certainly.
What do you think makes a man really highly desirable in a woman's eyes?
It all comes back to that centeredness and having the balance around it. So there's this kind of idea that, I have to be like this like big macho leader. I have to be really, really strong. You've got to be on your purpose in your life, like whatever that means to you, and then balance it out with that softness where she can connect. Because it depends what you want, but you can be a big macho bro and you'll get girls, you'll probably get some sex, but if you're actually wanting a real relationship and you're wanting a real connection, like look at every movie character. They're always Chris Hemsworth. It's always balanced with the character who can lead in his own way, but then he has a softer side. He's not afraid with her to show fear. He's not afraid to dive in and do the bonding too. There's the attraction level, and then there's the actual bonding level where you properly connect to her and like give her a great emotional experience and a great connection with you. And it's both that makes you like fucking attractive and like she wants to jump you, and then she can actually open her heart to you as well and really meld, have that connection.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a question that I wanted to surprise you about
okay.
live on
Excellent.
this channel, because
Excellent.
I want my viewers to actually know that this is the raw truth, okay?
Yeah.
You see this handsome guy right here, muscles, nice shirt, working out.
Your viewers care about that,
but
for sure.
No, but they think that sometimes looks like when a guy is handsome, that he never gets rejected.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, I just got ghosted very recently. It happened. There's like plenty of emotionally unavailable women as well as men out there, and yeah, like looks are always a good start, especially if you're a girl. But after that, it becomes less and less about what you say and more about how you interact, what you do. It's so superficial that we've all, as guys, we've met women who, they're beautiful, and you may have even slept with them, and then you realize like this woman's not girlfriend material. She's codependent, or she's this, or she's that. And when you ask a dude who's married, you can see he's never marrying her for the sex. At least 99% of great marriages, that's not what's happening, or the looks. Yeah. He's marrying her for the connection. And like to take it deeper for a minute, you look at men's mental health statistics, like they're scary, right? Guys are taking their lives at like 3 times the rate of women, and guys, there's not a lot of male empowerment stuff out there. And a big reason psychologists are attributing this to is just the lack of connection and the lack of esteem that many of us are struggling with. So we know that women bring way more to our lives than their looks, and vice versa too. And to think it's just looks is silly. It's our own fears coming in, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. All right, Mark, well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to do this video with you, and you shared some really amazing insights, and thank you for that.
Yeah, my pleasure. That was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, you viewers, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as I always say, put them below here, and me and Mark will also try our best to get back to you as well and answer some of those comments. I'll put his YouTube channel.
Yeah, you put my YouTube channel. It's always directed at women, so I only coach women these days, but you're welcome to have a look. Have a look at some of the questions women are asking.
You can send your girlfriend over there.
Send your girlfriend over there. Happy to have her there. But yeah, I really enjoy it, so thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. All right, guys, we'll see you again in the next video, and remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.
Cheers, guys.